Why dog talk and what is dog talk? See, dog talk is a concept which we thought about, we've been actually thinking about this for long, that when a doctor goes and communicates, right, to the society or to anybody, normally they are seen as scientists who will talk about a subject for which they have got educated. So a medicine guy will go and talk about medicine or critical care medicine, and nephrologist will talk about nephrology, or cardiologist will talk about cardiology. But it takes a lot of hard work and effort and a lot of experiences with people in life when a doctor becomes a successful doctor. Now, rarely you find doctors getting those kind of platforms, barring people like Devi Shetty and all, right, who have been given a lot of those kind of platforms, where a doctor can talk about their experiences in life, their own peaks and troughs, their own challenges in life, their own turmoils with which they would have overcome, which becomes an inspiration for younger people and younger generation as they move forward. Now, one would have read a lot of books on management. There are a lot of books on science, on particular how to treat a patient or how to treat a disease. But I do not think there are many books available, right, where really people talk about the experiences, how to work towards building your own stature, how to work towards becoming a successful doctor, how to work towards being recognized as a person of a certain value in the community. Now, very rare books are. Atul Gawande might have written certain books, but not many people have written books about it. So thus we thought about the platform, because in our hospitals, right, there are a lot of doctors who have attained that level of stature in the community, right, who have got experience of years and years, right. During that experience, they would have seen a lot of things happening in their life. They would have also seen healthcare in this country evolving. For example, like today, Dr. N.P. Singh is going to talk about it, right, about his experience in his life. I think Dr. Singh would have started his career in healthcare when healthcare was practically not there in India. From there to now, where again healthcare is moving into phase 3 of its own journey, right? So he has seen it from the start, right? Now this experience, right, will help a lot of youngsters to learn how do they move forward and when they build their own business. Thus this platform. This platform is for both youngsters as well as the senior people. Senior people because we want to motivate them so that they can come forward and share their experiences. Youngsters to learn. So use this platform as productively as possible. I will motivate all the seniors to come forward, like Dr. N.P. Singh has volunteered today, as he has been volunteering in every action we say, right? He has volunteered today as being the first person to raise his hand and say that let me start sharing my experience, let others also get motivated about it. And my request would be that health experiences, right? This is a real person standing and talking about it, right? Let the house be full, let the hundreds and hundreds of the junior doctors and the associate and consultant level doctors really hear the experiences, clear their doubts. Lot of things they would be facing on the floor, lot of things which would be going in their mind, which they need answer of, right? I think these are the senior people who would be able to give them the answers, which otherwise you do not get an opportunity to talk about. Most of the time people talk about this patient ka bata do kya ho raha tha, patient treatment bata do kya ho raha tha. But unke life ka journey, I think this is a platform which is available. Thus this talk. My request is that please use this platform as productively as possible, right? Utilize this platform for the success and gain the learning from there. I would also like to now invite Dr. N.P. Singh, who has volunteered. I need not introduce Dr. N.P. Singh, right? It would be an embarrassment for me, and I do not think that anybody sitting here doesn't know Dr. N.P. Singh who he is, right? So let's welcome Dr. N.P. Singh with a round of applause. Now we will share what we want to share and we'll hear everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Because normally we have this tradition of starting with namaskar. For a change, I think we will use the word good afternoon. So I think let me at the outset first compliment and thank the Max Group of Hospital for having started this forum, which to me is very, very close to the heart, and I feel that the journey which one embarks over a period of decades of hard work and sincerity actually should be shared. And idea is that this journey not only gives an individual an important area of exploration, but also whether by that journey, if you can stimulate others to work for the institution, which is what we are studying here. Institution does not mean the hospital, does not mean your family, but it's overall your contribution to the society, which probably is a very, very important component of our life. Life comes, life goes. Each one of the person will do their work, but at the end of the day, if you leave the world with some form of satisfaction that yes, I could contribute something to the society, then it's a great, great thing. Just on the lighter side, normally if I would have organized this function, I would have ensured that the hall is full, but it doesn't matter. And next time I will ensure that the hall is full, as Neeraj has said. I would like to have this in two phases. One is, of course, I'd like to share my experiences and my life journey with you, which certain points I'd like to share with you, which will help you probably in trying to contribute something to the organization. And in the second half, I'll sit there. Obviously, I'm a bit nervous, so I'll sit there and I'll have some interactive sessions with you. So that if, as Neeraj said, if there's any doubts in your mind, which I will definitely like to answer, whatever I can do that. So, 1st December 1958 was when I was born. That is what has been told to me. So I was designated Sagittarian as my sun sign. And if you know something about Sagittarians, then at least you will know that they are very lucky, which I am. They are very outspoken, which I am considered as. And also they are very, the word is, they flirt a lot. So I flirt a lot with something different which I like to tell you. So I think probably one of the first things which I remember, I was born in a middle class, not a middle class family, but my father was a businessman in state Myanmar, which is now known as Burma, and my father had a business. And I think the first 3-4 years, which you hardly remember of your spent in Myanmar, Burma, which where I only remember that I used to eat cherry along with some milkmaid. That combination I still remember having had, and we used to have, being in Burma, we used to eat food with hands, and the rice and dal, which is now the dal and chawal were the ones which I remember. But then suddenly the turmoil started because there was army rule, military rule there, and my father shifted to this place. But one thing which actually they imbibe on us, and which I feel is a very, very important part of anyone's, should be an important part of anyone's career, is the so-called dincharya, the normal routine. So even if when I became a doctor, even before that, our routine was to get up at, people get surprised when I send them messages at 4:30, 4:05, they say, no, you must be sleeping after that and getting up at 6 o'clock. So एक बचपन से ही एक आदत सी पड़ गई थी कि सुबह 4:30 बजे उठना, तैयार होना. My mother had given birth to 6 kids and there were 1 or 2 abortions as well, I don't know. Sometimes we discussed, and she would actually make each one of us ready. And by 7 o'clock, we'll all be dressed up with 2 good looks and all those things, and ready to go to a place where we thought was a place where we would have faith. We will call it as Gurdwara, we will call it as Mandir, we will call it any part of it, where you would sit together, sit there for some time, recite something and start your day. So for last 60 years, I am turning 60 now, it has been a part of my daily routine. I do try and get up early. And during the course of my schooling, somehow that I had this passion of coming first. Not academically, but coming first or everything was whatever I would like to do. So I don't remember having not reached the school first for more than 2 or 3 days. My commitment towards coming to the hospital or coming to school or going to college was absolutely the first person. And I can share with you in MC for the last 25 years, the time I was there, I think most of the time I was the first person to arrive there. How does it actually matter whether you come at 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock? To me, it does matter. it gives you that extra 1 hour which others may not have. That extra 1 hour can give you a chance to, call an extra patient if suppose someone actually cannot come on their time, or try and maybe in the later part of my time I would utilize it to do a research or search, or communicate with my students. That is what I do. My classes only starts from 8 o'clock. So when I was a child, when I used to jump and reach my gates, school gates, which is a Sarkari school, and I was given the task of writing the headlines of a newspaper. So my father, who had shifted from there, could not settle down, and there is no harm in sharing that he started speculating, because he was a businessman and he thought that he would try and earn money through, and whatever was left on us, money had vanished within 2 years in Delhi horse racing club, which many of you must have heard. So my mother with her 5 kids were left to look after, and my first commitment towards my education, I was very passionate about studying. Started when I started teaching at the age of 6 standard. So my 30 rupees of first salary, I still remember the child was in first standard and I was in 6th, actually motivated me to start teaching. So one of my actually passion even today, and many of you know that apart from medical, I do visit FMS for my management training as well, teaching a subject which I like. So getting up early, trying to be on time, reaching the place where you worship, wherever you go, much earlier than others, was one. And if I talk about today's scenario, which I like to correlate as I go along, I think it's so extremely important. I was in US for some time during my training, and then my daughter is there and I'm visiting today this month as well. I saw senior doctors coming to the hospital at 7:30 in the morning with a cup in their hand, कॉफ़ी वो ऑफिस में बनती है, रास्ते में वहाँ ये बहुत बढ़िया है नहीं है, I don't know, लेकिन वो ब्रेकफास्ट गाड़ी में ही होता है. There's a mug of coffee and there's some sandwich and they eat, and by the time they reach the hospital 7:30, they are all ready for the morning meetings or some discussions. So I feel that the corporate hospital like this, if at all if I have to tell you something which you must imbibe, or at least which I feel is a very important thing, is coming to the hospital before others. Now that's not possible for everyone, but I am very sure that if each one of you start to think about it, I'm very sure this hospital is going to really. So स्कूल में एक न्यूज़ लिखना आदत थी. पिताजी ने 100 रुपये एक न्यूज़पेपर वेंडर को दिए थे, तो 10 साल तक वो हमें अखबार फ्री देता है. उस समय 100 रुपये 1970s में बहुत हाई था. So we were all passionate about reading newspapers. I think that again was stemmed from the fact that शायद एक knowledge लेना है what is happening outside you. And today in management, it doesn't matter what Max is doing, but it matters to neither the lot what is doing or what are the plans of JP, or otherwise what is happening to the external world. So एक newspaper reading, which I sometimes do talk to my students about, that आज की क्या खबर है. In fact, when I start my class in MBA, the first thing which we discuss is in last 1 week what happened in the medical or other front. What is Kejriwal up to as far as this exhibition of healthcare is concerned, and that is important for us to apply. But I think newspaper was also a part of India. The last 5 years or so, newspapers have sort of vanished, but iPad has come. So the newspaper vendor actually comes at 6:30, which for me is a bit late, so I use my iPad to read the Indian Express and that. So knowing something about what is happening all over the world and be the first to know about that is also an extremely important part of it. So then the journey started. My school shifted. Initially कोई अंग्रेजी स्कूल था, फिर हिंदी का स्कूल आ गया, और वहाँ पे in the 8th standard where I was in, तो वो recognize art field का था. So 11th 9th में मुझे उसी स्कूल में हिंदी स्कूल में डाल दिया, गवर्नमेंट बॉयज सीनियर सेकेंडरी स्कूल. हाई सेकेंडरी स्कूल, और वहाँ पे फेलियर वाला बैच था, which I was a part of that. And somehow or other they were trying to bully me, but I learned the tricks and traits of how to handle people. And suddenly I realized that being a step ahead of others in terms of managing them also is a very, very important part of my career. So 9th onwards I was the monitor of my class, and because I used to come earlier and people used to bribe me. Now one of my passion had been, that's of course has nothing to do with movies, but I'll talk about it. It was watching movies. उस समय movies जो है cycle, if you have a cycle and if you deposit your cycle in the cycle stand, then you get a preference of tickets. So I was so passionate about things that one of my friend who was a failure was working as a person in part-time in Vishal Cinema Hall. So he used to bribe me with tickets and I used to allow him to come. So being passionate about something is, I think, in life is extremely important. So biology में, and then I went to Hindi medium school from English, and biology was very, very tough. Our teacher was Dr. Chandrasekhar, who after 40 years I had an opportunity to treat him here in this hospital, and he is been now inviting me to his village, but Gaurav is not allowing me to leave this hospital in the middle of the day. And for last, I think 4 months he's been calling me, now he stopped calling. But Dr. Chandrasekhar at that point of time was a sort of a terror. He was a stout sort of this thing, and he said कि यहाँ पे तो biology पढ़ नहीं सकते, शाम को आगे. And 1 or 3 months of the training in biology actually stimulated me to excel. So बस सैटरडे और संडे को दिल्ली में बहुत पहले से एक बस चलती थी जो कि आपको दिल्ली दर्शन करा, and 75 पैसा 1 rupee is what the charges used to be. And I would just, all of us, 4 brothers and sisters would roam around. Once we got stuck in Bangalore and we were absolutely, but on the way I used to watch Maganazar Medical College, and somehow or other it stuck, and that started the fire in my head. बीमार बहुत हो गए, and one of my during one of my days there was a Burmese person, Dr. Kumar, who had done his MRCP and came back and started practicing. So when my mother took me to that clinic, I was totally so keen to have that. But when I saw that doctor sitting and checking the temperature and other things, and then I had this nothing else but very good doctor. And so why I'm trying to insist is that if you really want to achieve something, which I always feel in my heart, that if tomorrow Neil wants to become the CEO of this Max Group of Hospital, you can achieve this. And 3 years of commitment by Gaurav has shown that when we started, I remember 10 CR or 12 CRs, and now we are 23, and as I said. So, one, you have to have your goal set. You want to become a doctor, you want to become a CEO, you want to become President of India. Or, that doesn't matter whether Murli is sitting here or Swapan is whatsoever. More important is, you have to set your goals. And then, work passionately for it. That's the most important thing. And I had 2 passions in life. In fact, this is the 3rd passion which I have started, but my first passion was to become a doctor. First year, Khalsa College, all modernites, dipsites, or talking in English, अंग्रेजी में बात, हमें वो सूड कहते हैं. You know what is सूड? I am not sure. Suds are those what to like a marriage. So बहुत मुश्किल था. टाइफाइड दूसरी बार हो गया, पहली बार बचपन में हुआ था, दूसरी बार टाइफाइड हो गया, 2 महीने छुट्टी करनी पड़ी, हाथ में चश्मा लग गया, ये बना दी, सिर दर्द होता था. So I could not get through. And my friend Dr. Pawan Gandhi, and I had no, in fact I had no house to stay. So my two friends, Dinesh and Paman, certainly me Nanu, and everyone knows, and now everyone calls me Nanu because I've become Nanu now. So Nanu nahi, and then that first year, second year of BSc in Khalsa College, I used to teach. I used to go from my college to student because without tuition ke to paisa nahi tha, and we used to study at night. So again, a passion and commitment. And Pawan called me up one day and said, "Nanu, I have come first 15. Tera kiya hai?" I could not go, but then next day I was also in first 15 Ramsey. That was my first team at Ramsey mein aana. So you see, why I am trying to tell you is that unless you are passionate about trying to get something, it's extremely difficult. It will help you. It will help the organization as well. Commitment towards a vision. I think the second goal which I had, I'd like to share before I go to the next important qualities which one must have, was to, as I said, बचपन से ही शौक था पढ़ाने का. पूरे 5 साल दिल्ली गेट से रजौरी गार्डन जाना, बस में जाना 13वीं में 4 बजे से 5 बजे तक, 5:30 बजे तक पढ़ाना, 200 रुपये फीस समय थी, 2 स्टूडेंट्स को पढ़ाना, वापस आना कॉलेज में, वांटेड क्रिकेट खेलना और रात को पढ़ना. And by that time I had imbibed his leadership qualities, or at least I wanted to. So I was like best का manager, as Neil said, कहीं भी कोई भी कुछ हो तो एडमिशन या नाम जरूर होगा. तो कहीं भी उस समय जो लीडरशिप, हाँ कल्चर में नहीं जा पाया. कल पहली बार स्टेज में गाऊंगा, आई एम श्योर कुछ ना कुछ तो सुनने में मिलेगा. बट मन में बहुत था गाना गाना है, बट स्टिमुलेशन सर से मिलिए, इतना बढ़िया डांस करते हैं, लीडरशिप समिट में देखा है. सो कोशिश करना शुरू हुआ कि सबको साथ में लेना चाहिए. सो दैट इज आई थिंक, जैसे जैसे बड़े होते हैं टाइम पहननी शुरू हो जाते हैं. कभी किसी ने मुझे पूछा कि तुम कम पहनते हो, ऐसा कि जो पसंद करना चाहे वो वैसे भी कर लेगा. बट a doctor should look elegant, smart and doctor-like, which I am trying to do. But गर्दन थोड़ी सी कम स्टिफ हो, ये मेरा अपना मानना है. मैं कई बार मुझे बहुत कोशिश करता हूँ कि हेलो हाय कर लूँ, पता नहीं पढ़ने वाले तो बहुत फ्री है मेरे से, हमें तो अभी भी थोड़ा सा कम्युनिकेशन में डर लगता है कई बार जॉब से बोलने में. सो आई थिंक वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट USP of a person should be his modesty, his availability, is able to communicate with all strata of society. So मुझे याद है कॉलेज में, स्कूल में और मैमसी में जब मैं डॉक्टर बना, ऐसा कोई व्यक्ति नहीं था जिसको मैं नहीं मिस करता, चाहे वो गार्ड हो, चाहे वो नर्स हो हमारे कॉलेज की, चाहे वो. एंड आफ्टर 6 months I realized that people started reciprocating. And anyone who would go with me would realize that तुम तो सर जो बंदा आता है तेरे को विश करता है. And I said no, see one needs to reciprocate. And in fact I have become so popular now, that is my flirtation, that when I used to go to from Nancy में अगर कुछ लोग हैं, कि nurses की गली है, वो वहाँ से कॉलेज से अंदर जाओ और LHP के अंदर जाओ तो रास्ते में गली है, इतनी सीढ़ियाँ बजती थी. और डॉक्टर हिम्मत गुप्ता का मैं दुनिया रेजिडेंट रह चुका हूँ, उनको मेरी बहुत से आदतों के बारे में पता है कि ऑर्थोपेडिक स्पॉट में. सो आई वॉज इमेंसली पॉपुलर एंड मैं कुछ इमोशनल भी हूँ, उसके बारे में मैं बाद में बात करूँगा. सो नानू मतलब लिटरली ऑल द नर्सेस यूज्ड टू, एंड दैट गेव मी एक्चुअली माय फैमिली वाज इन फरीदाबाद, सो आई हैड हेपेटाइटिस बी. सो आप बिलीव नहीं करेंगे 45 डेज तक मुझे ब्रेकफास्ट सिर्फ वो नानू कहने वाली ला के खिलाती नहीं, एंड नॉट अ सिंगल डे आई डिड नॉट हैव अ ब्रेकफास्ट फ्रॉम दैट डे. सो एंड उस दौरान ये था, मैं सेकंड पेशेंट स्टार्टेड, आई डिड माय MD. सेकंड आया मैं अपने एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में, उस दौरान एंट्रेंस एग्जाम बहुत टफ होता था. सो वी नीड टू एंजॉय आल्सो. नाउ हियर कम्स वन मोर क्वालिटीज इन यू व्हिच यू मस्ट डू. During the late phase of my career, I become totally commitment to my profession. But I think you must enjoy also. You can enjoy with your friends, you can enjoy with your patients in terms of trying to be helpful to them, but you must spend time with your family. So in the hostel, again we used to enjoy a lot, but रात को entrance exam के लिए तैयारी की. So finally, so I met this nurse. I was on night duty. She was on night duty, and I found her very, very, पतली सी थी और मैंने कहा चल मूवी देखने चलते हैं. This is not a standard उस समय होता था. She said चुप हो गई. Second time again I said चल मूवी देखने चलते हैं. कल चलते हैं, नाइट ड्यूटी है. फिर मैं तो उसी के साथ जाऊंगी जो वैसे शादी है. आई गॉट. उस दौरान भी ऐसा नहीं सुनने. आजकल तो खैर पीपल एक्चुअली नाउ सेलिब्रेट ब्रेकअप्स. दैट्स व्हाट आई वाज टोल्ड बिकॉज तो ये नया ट्रेंड है. बट उस दौरान तो मैंने सुना, हैरान हुआ. मैं कहा अच्छा देखते हैं. सो मैं अपने ड्यूटी रूम में वार्ड में चला गया. कुछ दिनों बाद अगेन वी हैड एन इंटरेक्शन एंड ग्रेजुअली वी मेट फर्स्ट टाइम इन द दिल्ली पब्लिक लाइब्रेरी होती है चांदनी चौक में. शी सेड कि मैं वहीं पे एक रो में खड़ी होंगी और आप दूसरी रो में आ गए और मैं आपके साथ वहीं 5 मिनट. सो वी यूज्ड टू कॉल हर मम्मी. शी इज Paramjeet Kaur, and 2 years of MD coachship led to of course a lot of objection. Doctor ho, MD ho, now no nurse, but commitment, and we got married. So I think in life also I have had lots of relationship, marital, extramarital, only मैं कह रहा. But commitment to your relationship with your parents, with your family, with your institution. This is the first time which I have come out of MAPC, and I am here for last 7 years. Unless Gaurav or Neil takes me out, or I choose to take up, I am normally committed, and that is what I feel. अगर मैं इसमें आपसे शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट बहुत सारे हैं, लेकिन अगर डॉक्टर अमित मलिक को मैंने रेफरल भेजा है, and I have no doubt in telling you, he will ensure that he comes personally and sees the patient and communicates to you. Now that is what where we have to be. Now when you try to be good to each other and at least to communicate with each other, I think it's again a very, very high standards which you set for others. So the other passion which I had to become was to teacher. CNC हो गई, कूल जॉब होता था, 2 साल हो गया. उस समय तो मेंटरशिप्स बहुत थी और जान पहचान बहुत चाहिए होती थी. मंडल कमीशन आया. Many of you would know Mandal Commission was the one where the other classes का group था. There was only one seat. We appeared, did not get again one seat, and committed. I said no. बनना है तो प्रोफेसर ही बनना. उस दौरान ये भी कहा जाता है जिसकी वाइफ नर्स होती है तो प्रोफेसर बन ही जाएगा. So that also quality I had in mind. So after around 6 months, 2 posts, 1 specialist, 1 teaching appeared. Fortunately got selected for both. So I was like at the top of the world. Maulana Medical College from Mumbai. And we were, I was working in a part-time in a Haji Store clinic, which is now a huge center. And I had 2 kids by that time, and I was very happy. And suddenly there was a shock. Now that shock will come to each and every. I say that exams हो गए. एक तो हम कॉलेज में एग्जाम देते हैं, स्कूल में देते हैं, एक भगवान देता है हमारा एग्जाम. That is more time. And suddenly with these small kids and a wife, it's fairly okay. I was given a call to go to Pondicherry, and I said, "My God!" And my parents were not staying with me. I said, "Yeah." I had all the possible approaches which I could do, but nothing. Within a month, I was in Pondicherry. So we need, if you are committed, then you will have some obstructions, but you need to be ensure that you never in the life of Central Health Services have they sent any nurse on deputation, because nurse is from Delhi government, CHS Central government. But mine was the first case. After 6 months, when I said I cannot handle your 2 kids, how to get, and I am getting panicky. We got a deputy to work with it once. Hard times, learned a lot. I found lots and lots of committed doctors in the department. So when I came back, I was a different MD center. जो शरारती नालू था और flirting नालू था, by the time he came back as a teaching professor, I become a totally committed person in my life. सुबह 7 बजे हॉस्पिटल पहुँच जाना, रात के 9 बजे तक। मेरे एक कलीग थे जिनके साथ मैं 5 साल काम किया, वो 11 बजे आते थे और 1 बजे आते थे। कहते तू तो बेवकूफ़ है, मुंडा नहीं है, पागल है, करता की है? जब क्वेश्चन भी ट्राई करता क्या है, शायद कुछ और करता है इसका। So I think again, as a doctor, you have to be a good teacher. You have to teach your students, you have to teach your patients, you have to teach your colleagues, you have to teach your paramedic thing. So, if in fact the word doctor itself means that person who needs to be teach or taught. क्या खामियां हैं? One of my issues was that I had become very arrogant. At some point of time, 25-30 patients, तीसरे patient को गुस्से में बाहर निकाल देना, without realizing that he has come specially to show me. And that was one quality which I felt actually nagged me for 10 years. Arrogance. जैसे मैंने पहले भी बात करी, हम लोग आते हैं गाड़ी में आते हैं, I don't have hesitation in sharing with you. I have come walking here, I have come on e-rickshaw, I have come on auto, I have come on metro, I have come on a reasonable Baleno as well. And with the driver, without the driver. But I do not have any problems in walking to hospital from the main road. And I meet a lot of people there. So I think probably one of our greatest enemies is our own ego. We are ourselves. That ego can be there in the family, that ego can be there in the society, and also ego will come the hospital. Many times, डॉक्टर पूरी हमारे ओटी अलॉटमेंट में झगड़ा करते रहते हैं। कुछ मैं सुनने में आता हूँ कि उनको हम हाथ नहीं लगा सकते, कई बार वो अलग ऐसे ना, वो अलग है, तो हम भी ठीक हैं, बट वो अलग इसलिए है कि शायद मुझे लगता है मैं अलग इसलिए हूँ। आई थिंक availability, approachability, and being able to communicate with your friends is the greatest quality, which I find if you actually want to become a good doctor or a good human being. No one should have this कि वो किसी से तो कोई बात ही नहीं कर सकता या वो अपने आप को बहुत। Yes, there are issues. You have to manage your time. You have to manage your to see that 31st patient also if you are asked him to come, but you have to have approach which to me looks for the institution also being able to modesty. You have to be available to a patient. And half of the and I'm sharing with you this modesty I learned here in this hospital. उस हॉस्पिटल में तो डांट ही होती थी मरीजों को। इस हॉस्पिटल में 50% मेरे मरीज इसलिए आते हैं, तो कई बार नीरू भी कहते हैं कि इतने सारे मरीज वहाँ क्यों चले गए, इसलिए आते हैं कि वो मेरे से मिलना चाहते। That is only जैसे कि I just want to meet you. कागज पे तो आप लिख के दे देते हो, आपके PNB से टाइप करते हैं। So I think that is what your person should be, or doctor should be. People should, and I have a patient who's coming to me on day 1 and still coming for a long time. So if you really want to be a good doctor, you must have good relationship with him in terms of and I say तमिल में बोलना अस्सलाम वालेकुम, वालेकुम सलाम, मुस्लिम में बोलना वो की हाल है, ठीक है, और कैसे हैं आप। मेरे डॉक्टर गॉट मैरिड टू बनिया फैमिली इन गोरखपुर, सो आई लर्न द आर्ट ऑफ स्पीकिंग यूपी लैंग्वेज फ्रॉम माय ग्रैंडसन ऑल्सो। पक्का अमेरिका में रहता है लेकिन बोलता हो यूपी की लैंग्वेज। सो इफ यू कैन कम्युनिकेट with the other person, why Amitabh Bachchan is so if yesterday also I watched him, I wanted to see one, वो लड़की तो उसमें फिदा थी, जो लड़की सामने बैठी हुई थी, वो कहती थी बस आप ही आप, उसके आंखों का स्टाइल एंड उसके बोलने का तरीका। So you have to, there's one, मैं जवान से बोल रहा हूँ, दूसरा आपकी आंखें बोलती हैं, that is extremely important. Non-verbal communication to your colleagues, to your patient, actually is a great deal of making you comfortable as compared to your verbal, and that also is a greatest art. When it comes to, and I have no hesitation saying Manish बैठा नहीं हुआ है, but Manish I feel has one of the greatest quality for a family, which we have to do nowadays very often. एक टाइम अब आ गया है कि वो ट्रस्ट सो कॉल्ड डॉक्टर और मरीज का रिश्ता है, वो बीच में मिस्टर्स आ गया। अब इसका कौन कसूरवार है, कॉर्पोरेट्स है कि नहीं है, ये नहीं मैं कहना चाहूँगा, बट आज के दिन में दो इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ें खुद। एक बहुत अच्छी कोट मैं और नीरज ने तो देखना बंद कर दिया, मैं डेली बोलता हूँ, तो आज मतलब कुछ दिन पहले हमने बताया था, वी बिकम लॉयर्स when it comes to our own issues, कि मैंने तो ये नहीं किया, and we become judges when it comes to the other person's issues. So ये एक जो चीज़ है, हमें इसमें से निकलना है। We have to be more transparent, we have to be more, communicative and clarity in our thought. And Manish, which I am talking about is, जब भी हम family meeting करते हैं, काफ़ी रेगुलरली हमारे यहाँ होती है, we sit together, we talk to the family, we tell them what is the exact status, and we also tell them that there are three important things. आप कभी भी किसी को चाहो यहाँ मरीज से बात करनी है या दिखाना चाहते हो तो दिखा सकते हो. You want me to talk to anyone also, and he says इसमें समय लगेगा और फाइनेंशियली है. So if you are open, see आज के ज़माने में हमें क्यों मरीज से डर लगना शुरू हो? मुझे नहीं लगता, मैं फ्रैंकली आपसे बोलता हूँ, मैं and lately we've gone through very critical cases as well. I lost one of my patients who had nephrotic syndrome, dysentery, and then cryptococcal and so many things. But you have to be transparent in terms of patient's condition, in terms of what they can do. Sometimes that empathy and communication is extremely important for a doctor. Some other आज की जनरेशन मैं नहीं कहूँगा, बट दे वर बॉर्न विद मोबाइल फोन इन देयर हैंड्स, नॉट अ सिल्वर स्पून, तो वो शायद वो पेशेंट सेंट्रिक से ज़्यादा सेल्फ सेंट्रिक. माय सन हु पास्ड आउट फ्रॉम आईआईटी कानपुर गॉट अ सैलरी ऑफ 1,85,000, जबकि मैंने को अभी मिल रही है. वो एक साल में ही वो पक गया, बिकॉज ही नेवर अर्नड दैट सैलरी. ही लर्नड ट्रिक्स. उसके बाद उसने कहा मेरे बस की नहीं, आई वांट टू स्टार्ट माय. यू सी यू हैव टू गो वन स्टेप अबाउट टू एक्चुअली. मैं अपने लिए बहुत कंफ्यूज हूँ. दैट इज व्हाई प्रॉब्ली द रीजन आई शो दैट आई एम वॉकिंग. सो आई थिंक वी नीड टू वैल्यू मनी आल्सो. नाउ हियर नॉट ओनली आई विल स्टॉप एज व्हेन यू से बिकॉज मेरा काम ही है लेक्चर देना. सो मुझे लगता है कि हमें अपने पैसे की या अपनी वैल्यू, इंस्टीट्यूशन के लिए वैल्यू, और दूसरी तरफ जो कंज्यूमर है ना, कि पेशेंट की भी पैसे की वैल्यू रखना पॉसिबल. सो द फर्स्ट थिंग विच आई नॉर्मली ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट फ्रॉम आवर पेशेंट्स इज कि वो किस कैटेगरी का है, कितना वो खर्च कर सकता है, और क्या उसको हम इस हॉस्पिटल में फिट कर सकते हैं. अगर नहीं फिट कर सकते तो हम उसको बताते हैं कि इसका ये इशू है. और अगर आप बहुत बड़ी मैं मैसेजेस करता हूँ, मुझे उम्मीद होती है कि 5% से ज़्यादा नहीं मिलेगा, लेकिन फिर भी आई थिंक मुझे ये लगता है टू द मैनेजमेंट दैट वी नीड टू हैव सम आइदर कॉर्पोरेट फंड. देयर वाज सम इशू अबाउट ट्राइंग टू कलेक्ट मनी फॉर पेशेंट्स बट व्हिच प्रॉब्ली कुड नॉट बी एक्सेप्टेड. बट आई हैव अ फीलिंग दैट वी नीड some amount of reserve fund for some of our patients who are young, who's in hepatic encephalopathy, who's got dengue, who's a medical student's brother, who I feel as a clinician can come out but will come out only after 5 years. So उस सिचुएशन में ICU में 5 दिन का खर्चा इस हॉस्पिटल में कर पाना उस शख्स के लिए नहीं है. So शायद हमें, चाहे आप इसको कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ले लीजिए, एंड मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है, एंड आई फील ये जो पैसा मुझे मिल रहा है आज के दिन में, इट इज ऑल बिकॉज आई वर्क इन मैमसी एंड दिस इज व्हाट, सो आई हैव टू गिव इट बैक टू देम, गिव इट बैक टू द सोसाइटी. नो वन विल टेक. सो मैं बहुत जगह कोशिश करता हूँ अपना समय देने की, बिकॉज मनी, मैन पावर, मटीरियल तो सबके पास अलग अलग है, लेकिन शायद वो समय जो आपने किसी के लिए दिया है वो वापस आपको नहीं मिलेगा. दैट यू नो. people, and I work 7 days a week. I go to various places in the evening hours, and I collect that money, hand it over to the other family, and also try and see them smile. I don't need to do it. Neeraj gives me so much amount of money that even if I don't stop working today, I don't need it. But still, I have to give back. The first lady who gave my fees, I never went down to touch anyone's feet. But I still, when I go on Wednesdays to the Rajuri Garden Gurdwara, she's there listening to the musical thing. I touch her feet because of her that I become a doctor. So that is something commitment which we need. We should never forget people who have helped you in their life. So that's again another thing that you may have a lot of people, but please understand, no expectations in life. अगर आप किसी की मदद करते हो और उससे उम्मीद करते हो कि ये मेरी तनख्वाह बढ़ा देगा या ये मेरा बाद में IAS ऑफिसर है मेरे काम आएगा, नो. If you do one thing, then someone else will definitely do it for us. And this has been my dictum of my life, and I have followed it till today. So that quality is that in a human being. Charity is different thing, but be nice to them. I think last or some important points which I thought was try. कल ही मेरे किसी पेशेंट ने मेरी फोटो भेजी व्हाट्सएप से, कहीं आपकी स्माइल बहुत अच्छी है. मैंने कहा अच्छा, मैंने शीशे में तुम देखा तो बहुत. But I think one important part of non-verbal communication is a good smile. डॉक्टर पुलिस साहब की तो बहुत ही अच्छी है तो बट मुझे लगता है कि वो बड़े शीशे वाले कमरे में हो या ऊपर फिफ्थ फ्लोर पे हो या कहीं भी हो, एक हमारे यहाँ ये कल्चर अभी आना है, मुझे अभी भी लग रहा है. When I went to Smart, एक और NDR में गया था, I just walked alone and suddenly one lady came, she was like, जाना होगा, she spotted me. So this culture also we are lacking in this hospital, which I as a person, human being, I feel that we must be helpful to our colleague. यहाँ पे जो भी कोई आता है, अगर उसको ये experience मिल जाता है कि उसको ऊपर तक छोड़ के आया, I think उसके बाद वो कहीं नहीं जाएगा. So one important part of our good experiences which we impart to our patients is trying to help them for something which is different from your field. मेरे पास एक स्टूडेंट आया था, करण, कनाडा से आया, कहता ये आपको फॉलो करना मुझे. आप उस समय तो फॉलो भी मतलब he just wanted to stay with me for 3 months when I was practicing. And this chap is a son of a very big doctor. He was sitting with me in the crowded OPD from Canada in Loknayak Hospital, and one of my colleagues fell ill. He was a lawyer, and he was breathless, and there was no wheelchair. He literally brought the wheelchair, wheeled that patient to the ward like that. I said, "Okay, sir, this is a part of my volunteer work which I need to do." So I think we need to think beyond our medical profession to be helpful, because कल जब हम डॉक्टर मरीज बनते हैं और अगर 101 बुखार हो जाए, पहले दिन एजिथ्रोमाइसिन, दूसरे दिन डॉक्टर को, तीसरे दिन प्रोफेसर को, हम पैनिक हो जाते हैं. सो वही चीज़ अगर हम एक दिन ICU में कोई, मैं कहता हूँ रात को रह के देख लो, तो फिर हम रियलाइज करेंगे कि एक कॉन्शियस पेशेंट ICU में उसकी क्या हो रहा है. सो बहुत बारी मुझे मरीज आके कहते हैं कि उसने तो मुझे डांट दिया रात को, या बहुत सारी चीज़ें करी, आधा ठीक नहीं होगा मुझे लगता है. बट I think we need to understand that we can very well be on the other side. There have been stories written, the books written. Atul Gawande has written one book. Another book, a neurosurgeon has written, where he had cancer and he said, "End of my life," some good novel which I had shared in my medical advisors group. So, and that can happen to each one of us anytime. The life journey can take a different route. So then we realize that we could have done so many good things in life for our patients, which probably we could not do, and we were not able to do because of our probably ego or something. एक अच्छा इंसान बनना ही एक सबसे बड़ी डॉक्टरी है. अगर कोई एक वो बन सकता है, तो शायद मुझे लगता है कि उससे बढ़िया डॉक्टर कोई नहीं हो सकता. He can beat anyone. So मैं I'll just try and finish the first part of my talk here. The two important weaknesses which I have One is, of course, our drawbacks which I had was I was not able to look after my family well. I could not give time, but I was very lucky to have my wife looked after my kids. So for a doctor, I think there was a WhatsApp going around by one of the MD doctors who said that 4 parts of a doctor: a professional work, a personal work, a hobby, or you want to enjoyment, and the family. And we need to, it's not an indicator, but after the age of 60, I would definitely like to spend more time for my own things which I would like to do more of. So मुझे लगता है कि एक वो समय करना जरूरी है, वो शायद मेरे में कमी नहीं है. I am not an organized person. That is why I have a huge team who looks after me. एक डॉक्टर को डेलीगेट करना भी आना चाहिए. He needs to understand what I can do and what others can do. I could not do that. Many times I want to be sure that I am here most of the time, morning, evening, taking down. But that is also important. So in brief, I think the journey has been wonderful. I did not share with you many of my secrets which I would have loved to. Like, why did I leave MAMC? Many people ask me, why did I leave MAMC? What do you do after 6 o'clock? Things like that now. But I think you need to be ready for a change. That is what I learned in management. Change, only one thing is constant, that is death. And now they say taxes. Taxes come new way. But everything changes with you. Your behavior changes, your arrogance changes, you become more subtle, life changes. Suddenly, at the helm of affair of MAMC, where I was, I'm telling you, inseparable from MAMC. At one stroke of my daughter's Farman, I had to leave, and I was very lucky. Dr. Vinay Agarwal just grabbed me, and I was able. So one has to be ready for that suddenness in life, which will. But wherever you are, whatever you are, be committed to your profession. And I even given a chance, it never happened, but given a chance, if I have to be born again and choose a profession, I will still choose medical profession, which I feel is class apart as compared to any other profession in the world, where you actually deal with living beings. Cars से, books से, कंप्यूटर से नहीं आप करते हो, वो तो उसको switch off करके भी आप उसको ठीक कर सकते हो. But living beings are being operated, are being dialyzed, are being biopsied, and when they go back, they have that eyes are showing that thank you, doctor, thank you so much. Thank you for your patient listening. I'm sorry if I've exceeded my time, but now I'll sit there and I'll definitely like to interact with you. And whatever questions or comments you have, I will, and any advices if you have with me. As I said, I am emotional guy, and that actually is a side effect. People get attached to you and then sometimes it becomes difficult. But it's a part of life. I always accept that. Thank you.
हमें टीम स्पिरिट होना बहुत जरूरी है, हमें इकट्ठा चलना बहुत जरूरी है. मैं अकेला नहीं चल सकता, निधि अकेले नहीं चल सकती, डॉक्टर सत्यारा अकेले नहीं चल सकता. I think we need to understand that in today's world, especially as a doctor, you can't say that I can do everything. We have to work as a team. और उस टीम में हम डॉक्टर्स ही नहीं, जो हमारा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है, हमारे नर्सेस हैं, हमारे फिजियोथेरेपी वाले लोग हैं, हमारे टेक्नीशियंस हैं, हमारा वार्ड बॉय है, हमारा सफाई कर्मचारी, वो सभी उसका एक हिस्सा है. और एक पेशेंट के इलाज करने में सभी का कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन इक्वल. इट्स जस्ट दैट आई एम अ लीडर और वी आर ऑन टॉप, so our names come. But I think again I compliment Gaurav for starting a lot of awards or felicitations where a team is being given. Recently we started that So emergency services, outpatients. If I have a good OPD, it's all because of Sarita who handles my OPD. I cannot but not compliment her because and if I compare the salary which she gets and I get, I feel very embarrassed. But she has the same amount of commitment which I have. Even today, she ensured that I saw that 30th patient and I didn't leave on time. So that's a great. So you have to build up your team. I've been extremely lucky to have a extremely good talented postgraduates and colleagues. One more thing is conflicts बहुत आते हैं हमारे प्रोफेशन, colleagues के साथ, patients के साथ, उसको handle करना बहुत जरूरी है. I think we should not allow it to. The best thing which I found was, चाहे वो नीचा दीवान की, चाहे वो यहाँ पे कोई था, चाहे वो कोई भी हो, just go and open out. After a period of some time, you realize that that person starts to interact with you in a different way. So don't keep things piling up. Don't keep things in your mind. If you feel that I'm not able to have a good interaction with a particular person, just go sit with him, chat or her. Very time में हर्ष जा रहा है, but I'm very sure that things will change. Yes, sir.
So I think time was too short. I think he just gave abstract of what would have a very nice study had he disclosed many more things in his life or through which he has gone through. And one very short comment that very important for all of us is not to be always very serious in the life. The amount of wit and humor which he puts whenever he's talking to his colleagues or patients, it's remarkable. So smile it's not just smiling yourself, make other person smile.
Yeah.
That is what the challenge is. So we should always try to stimulate him from that perspective also. But I thought grand description, we were all stuck. How many, what hardship he has faced. He is a man of so much of steel in himself, within, and otherwise he's so soft. So it is really a great personality. He used to be here with us, and I think we would have taken a lot of notes out of his small, छोटी सी डायरी दिखाई अभी. But I think मुझे लगता है कि you will have to keep talking to him more often and keep learning from him. So I think 3 years for him. He is really excited. You are his senior.
मैं
थोड़ा like
जब टूटा का मुझे रिलेट था जब मैं टूटा सीनियर लेवल में. अब मैं कई बारी सर से मिलता हूँ, मैं सर ही बोलता हूँ और अभी भी इनकी भी कोई स्माइल. आई थिंक वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट फ्लोर में ओपीडी में सर जिसमें सबसे ज़्यादा रश होता है, वो भी स्माइलिंग डॉक्टर हेमंत होता है. वो पिछले 40 साल से जब से मैं जाता हूँ ऐसे कि ऐसे ही. ये एक अच्छी क्वालिटी
चीज़ें सर से हम अगर अकेले में भी सीखेंगे.
वो मैं तो बच गया.
Nano, you are an inspiration from learn from you.
Thank you, sir. Whatever I have learned is from you.
So I want to share one thing Dr. MP said. One thing I want to come in my mind. So speech is silver. Silver is beauty. Beauty is everything, sir. I think so. He is a patient, is very excellent in knowledge. The way he is communicating with the patient as well as the nurse, as well as for me also, and junior doctor is very, very nice. And then I want to success his life. I want to live a long life. I wish you all the best in my future. He also you want to look hard working, and I want to wish you whole life for you, sir. Thank you.
I have seen you from Nancy and I was lucky that you were here. I wanted to know if you have to retrace your life or your medical career, would you change something? And if you want to change something, what would you do?
So I think a very very pertinent question that अगर आपको किसी को बदलना है तो क्या करो? I think इसका आंसर एक ही है, आप दुनिया में किसी को नहीं बदल सकते, आप खुद को बदल सकते. So you have to lead by example. अगर मैं किसी को बोलूँ कि सुबह आ जाओ और मैं खुद 10 बजे आऊँ तो मैं कभी नहीं सक्सेसफुल होगी. या मैं अगर किसी को कहूँ कि स्माइल करो और मैं एकदम से वो फेस बना दूँ जो कई बार मैं बनाता हूँ तो वो ठीक नहीं है. आई थिंक वी नीड टू. I had mentors. We used to look up to Dr. P.S. Gupta. Many of us know him. He was a great teacher and he would stand there. And I was so thrilled when somebody told me that सर आपकी भी हम राउंड्स में बहुत आप आते थे और कहते हैं लिवर एब्सेस है और जबकि वो हमने कुछ और डायग्नोसिस बताई. सो आई थिंक वी नीड टू a good leader is one who would actually have, and I'm so lucky that I have 4,000 Facebook friends, which anyway is my person, but many of them are my own students, and they feel very happy. And every day I get a patient or I get a colleague of mine and said, "Sir, मैं आपका student था." तो उसमें एक टीचर के लिए उससे अच्छी खुशी नहीं है कि आपका अपना स्टूडेंट, क्योंकि कई बार मेरा एक बहुत फ्रैंक पीजी है, तो कल परसों ही हम लोग वहाँ हल्दीराम में बैठे होते विपक्ष सिंह है, तो कहते सर आप तो टेरर थे। तो I said, what? You were so strict during that time that one lady had a SLE और उसको साइक्लोफॉस्फेट देनी थी और वो नहीं दी गई, and when I went to, and that fellow is now a nephrologist, one of the secretary of our society, आपने जो रवि को बोला मुझे अभी भी याद है. So I said, I may have said that, but yes, I do. I think we need to realize and we need to accept that no one is perfect. And if at any point of time you realize that you've done something wrong or not professional, there's no harm in just saying sorry to that person. That's the best way of taking the, that whole burden out of it. अगर आप उसको कैरी करते रहोगे, मैं एक पब्लिक प्लेटफॉर्म पर मैं हिंदी के साथ मैंने एक बार मुझे लगा कि मैंने गलती किया या मुझे रियलाइज हुआ, आई वुड नॉट हेसिटेट इन अपॉलोजाइजिंग टू यू दैट आई वाज रॉन्ग एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. मुझे लगा कि नहीं मैं अगर ठीक हूँ, लेकिन अगर आपको नहीं मिला तो मैं वाकई में सॉरी एंड हम बात नहीं कर पाए, बट मैं आगे से कोशिश करूँगा.
So it's been I think all our junior colleagues and everybody should follow. Coming on time and coming first at the hospital. Not being illegal otherwise. It really makes a difference. And unless you do it yourself, I don't think you can tell others. That's a great learning from you.
Thank you, sir. आपके साथ इतने सालों से आपके साथ इंटरेक्शन रहा है, एंड यू नेवर शो ऑन दी फेस दैट अंदर आपने कितना मतलब हार्ड वर्क करके आप यहाँ तक आए. यू आर सो मॉडेस्ट अबाउट योर अप्रोच. सो दैट इज समथिंग एज यंगस्टर्स एवरीबडी हैज टू लर्न दैट. आई थिंक आई डोंट नो, आपने कहा कि आपके बीच में क्वालिटी एरोगेंस की आ गई थी, बट मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता कि ऐसा कुछ था. मैंने कभी भी ऐसा ऑब्जर्व भी नहीं किया. आई थिंक मे बी ड्यूरिंग योर टाइम देयर, but I think from the time I have seen you, and it's been just pure modesty. And the other thing which I always appreciate and always see that you're very, very passionate. I think, and I always like and always feel that passionate people ही होने चाहिए. तभी healthcare में passion के बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता. And you are one example who has shown your passion. And good part is मतलब बहुत से लोग हम सब जानते हैं सर का एक face नहीं है. Sir is really multifaceted. And I can tell you, sir, as a son, I have seen only idealized Dr. Vinay Agarwal कि he social की कोई लिमिट नहीं है. But let me tell you, sir, उसके बाद अगर कोई है तो आप हैं, बिकॉज आपकी भी सोशल सर्कल की कोई लिमिट नहीं है. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences with all of us, and hopefully we'll continue this initiative of Doc Talk. HR people will be connecting with you, many senior clinicians, many people who would want to share their life experiences like how Dr. MP Singh has shared. This will be more like a very informal, interactive and a nice forum where we can personally know the other side of that clinician. Thank you very much for taking time out, and I'm sure you would have all appreciated the way Dr. MP Singh